Hello, everyone. It's
Hello,
good to
everyone.
see you. Hi, Raphaël. How are you doing?
Hey, Joyce. Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, pretty good.
Good
Enjoying
to be
this
here.
very busy day.
Yeah,
Very,
absolutely.
very excited to be here and take questions. I see if I could has already posted like text green game over. I'm guessing this is an emoji that I'm not seeing in the YouTube comments. Hi, Micah. Hi, Ryan. Oh, yeah. Ryan is saying wash hands. So for sure, it's emojis in the YouTube comments that I can't see. All right, nice. Okay, why don't we get started? Like, what do
Let's
you.
go. Yeah, I just
Floor
wanted
is yours.
to.
I think you want to. Let's talk a little bit about
Yeah,
Web 3.0.
yeah, exactly. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I mean, so great to see you all, and the launch since this morning has been amazing. So yeah, we wanted to host this Ask Me Anything session. Just first of all, just to give a quick introduction on what we've been cooking, what is this WeWeb 3.0 all about, and then to take all of your questions because I'm pretty sure you guys have some. So we wrote this blog article to basically summarize, what's our what was our thinking process to actually end up building Web 3.0.
I'm
And
sharing the link
so
in the comments in case.
yes, great. I really invite you guys to go and read it. It's very short, and while reading it, I think you will learn really, what we have in mind with regards to what's happening in the AI space, and how this will have an actually very exciting impact and give a lot of leverage to no-code builders. So the thinking was the following. We have seen all of these amazing platforms like Cursor and the others that enable coders to actually build very, very fast using AI, like much faster than what they could have ever dreamed of, I think. And we saw this paradigm for coders does not really exist yet in the no-code world, but it feels so natural that we should also offer those AI capabilities to our users. And so we started to think about it last summer. I mean, we started to think about it way before, actually, because we knew that at some point this would be coming. We just didn't know that this would be coming so fast. And I think something really happened during the summer of 2024, and it's when Anthropic released Claude Sonnet 3.5 V2. And when that model was out, the coding capabilities were so great that suddenly a whole new world of possibilities was opening for the web world, right? And so we started to do some tests here and there in WeWeb, and figured that we could, offer a cursor-like experience, but within a no-code editor. And so the challenge here was to have this same kind of experience, like an AI chat panel that you would talk to, and that would help you build whatever you want, be it your UI, your logic, really advanced components and elements, even like help you with your backend integration, very much like what you can do with Cursor, but the output of whatever the AI creates should be manageable and editable from the no-code editor. And this was like a real challenge. And so we started to do some proof of concepts around the month of October, and then we basically gave it a go and so that this would be feasible and achievable. And so from October to now, we basically worked on it. A lot of you, and thank you so much, accepted to access the private beta and to give us your feedback, and this was really invaluable. And thanks to you guys, we could improve the first version or the pre-first version, and come up with this public beta that we are releasing today. And so we kind of decided to make it to make it sound like a big launch, because internally that's how we feel about it. We feel like it's a new building paradigm where our customers will actually be able to use all the power of AI, but still remain in control and be able to trust whatever the AI will have outputted without knowing how to code. And I think it's amazing. And you will see in the article we wrote that the mission of no code is to enable really anyone to build for the web. And it's a difficult mission because even though you don't you would rather not have everybody learn how to code, you still have to learn complex platforms. WeWeb, the learning curve of WeWeb is still pretty steep when you are not technical. You have to learn so many concepts, and not only concepts, then you have to learn how to use the platform itself. And with the AI coming into play, what we feel is that suddenly the learning curve will be flattened. It's not going to be so hard anymore to use WeWeb at its full capacity, right? You guys will be able to build incredible things, incredible advanced workflows and logic, incredible advanced components. Even us, like when we did the tests, like the components we could generate were absolutely astonishing. Like we could generate games and we could generate like stuff that was looking like a Game Boy or solar systems, like absolutely incredible things that would have taken us, I don't know, just months to build if we wanted to. And so, yes, I think, AI is a new paradigm. And so we wanted to bring that into the world of no code. And we also felt like WeWeb is amongst the platform that is the better placed to make it happen, since the foundation of WeWeb are standard code, right? Is standard code. And so you guys know that we use Vue.js as a front-end framework. And we are decoupled by philosophy, and therefore for us it was actually easier to implement an LLM like Claude Sonnet 3.5 because the foundation are so standard and so close to what the code is in reality, that it was actually achievable. So this is WeWeb 3.0 that we just released today, and it's very much in beta. And maybe you guys already tried it. You will see it's still doing mistakes, and sometimes it's breaking things, and sometimes you ask for it to build some logic and it just doesn't work. But we felt like it was the right time to release it now, because the value that it's providing anyhow is already absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just going to get better. And yeah, Joyce, go for it if you have anything to add. But
Yeah, I think it's crazy because you're talking about a new paradigm, and I think it's so crazy how quickly we got used to things that would take us a couple of hours that now take us like 3 minutes. And when it takes a fourth minute, we're upset about it because it's like too long now.
When the AI does mistakes, you're like, what did you do? Like, you're supposed to work. And but
it's
like
insane how much it changed already how we think and how we build.
Very true. Yeah. And it's astonishing the power that it gives us. And so yeah, like I was saying, it's really beta. It will do a lot of mistakes. The UI works very well now. It could get even better, but like it's very close to being at its best. Logic now is to be improved. You will see that it still does a lot of mistakes, but try it out. It will create workflows. It will create the right variables for you and the right logic. It will do the bindings for you. And it should be, many times you guys will try and it's actually going to work and it's gonna feel amazing. And so now, our work is to basically listen to you guys, collect your feedback, and just improve it as fast as we can. And so we're going to focus a lot on improving and stabilizing those AI features. And now AI at WeWeb will not be, I would say, kind of a side project. Now it's kind of implemented at its core. And so we reorganized the company so that AI is now a core thing in the way we think about building and the future of the platform. And so yeah, we're going to invest a lot more into this, but we are also going to build the other features. And I'm sure that's part of some of you have those questions, but I wanted to say it up front. That we are also going to build, the other features that we promised that we're going to build at some point. So one of them being branching, obviously, that a lot of you are waiting for. A better Figma integration, critical. Plus, like with the help of AI, I think it's going to be astonishing. and many more. So yeah, this is the plan, and we are really super excited because we feel like our mission to enable anyone to build for the web will be accelerated like almost 100x, thanks to the implementation of AI. And so through this work, we also got very close with those frontier labs, and especially Anthropic. And so we have now a relationship with them. And so when we meet them, talk to them, and hear about what's coming up at those frontier model labs, it's amazing. I mean, the pace of innovation is just incredible and hard to grasp. And the great thing is that us, as we call us now, we are the app layer on top of those LLMs. We are going to be able to implement those improvements very quickly, so that all of the users can benefit from it very quickly as well when there will be those improvements. So expect everything to get better actually very quickly. And so right now things will be not working perfectly all the time, but I'm pretty sure that by the summer, for example, this is going to feel like a different product, because because the LLMs are getting much better, and our integration of those LLMs is also getting more optimized. So I'm just so excited about it, and we are all really looking forward to hear your feedback and see what you're going to build with this new AI features implemented at the core of the product, because I'm pretty sure that we are going to be amazed. So yeah, that's about it for the introduction and the philosophy of why we decided to do this. And now I'm very much looking forward to hear any questions. By the way, I didn't speak about the pricing, because I'm sure there will be 1,000 questions about it, but I just wanted to mention it up front as well. We completely revamped the pricing for two reasons. The first one is that many of you have been providing a lot of valuable feedback about this pricing since many months, and we listened to them and implemented them in the pricing. And we needed the pricing to be AI ready as well, because now we have a new cost structure to take into account, which is the number of AI tokens that the users will be using to actually build. And so yeah, we have to bind that cost structure to the pricing model, and so that's what we did as well. And so hopefully through this pricing, you guys will find that it's much more simple, much more predictable, and much more affordable when you get started as well. So this was like the three main drivers for this new pricing structure. But yes, we are here also to take your questions if you have any with this new pricing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we said hi to a few of you, but I see there are a bunch of people I recognize were part of the private beta, and those who weren't, I'm sure will have a lot of valuable feedback. So thanks for showing up as well, like Scott, Antoine, Fabio. I see Frederick from Gaspacho is here, James is here, Roberto is here, Matt. Hi, Xavier as well,
Awesome.
Andreas.
Hello, everybody.
Giovanni, who's already done amazing content in Brazil. And we've got Andre is saying only hi to me, by the way, Raphael.
Oh, wow.
Just
Hello there.
and yeah, so we've got a bunch of questions. Let me start at the top of them. Okay, the first one is from Roberto. It's about, he's asking, is WeWeb's plan to make people host on their own infrastructure? It almost seems like you don't want to make any money on the hosting.
It's interesting. It's an interesting question. So we think that our core value is to help you build faster. And so as part of helping you build faster, we also want to help you deploy and ship faster without all the headaches that come with it. But these are two separate things. And so we know that, I mean, a lot of you, reached out and said, I love you guys, but I have my preferred, hosting partner, and I want to use, for example, Versal or Netlify or Cloudflare or whatever to host my code. And I would rather, not pay for a yearly plan to make this happen, and help me making it easier. And so this we heard, and nevertheless, even like those people still find a lot of value with WeWeb, because the core of the value is about building things, and then maintaining whatever front end you have built with us. So
I think the iteration is something that's often like not misunderstood until you build an actual project and you realize maybe you need to hand it over to a non-technical team or you as a non-technical person. That really is, like you said, the core value.
Yeah, exactly. But hosting is also, I mean, for many of our users, it's a headache, right? And they don't want to have to deal with it. And so we thought, okay, so we're still going to provide like hosting add-ons. And by the way, like for you guys to know, 90% of our customers are actually hosting with us today. And I don't expect this to change so much, and especially given like the pricing point, which is very affordable. It starts at €10 or $10 per month. For some of our communities abroad, like Brazil or India, it's even way cheaper now that we have the regional pricing. And I really expect most people to just click deploy and let us, manage the CDN for them. However, if you guys like want it, you can just like check your code and deploy it wherever you want. And so the philosophy behind it, by the way, is that we consider WeWeb to be an IDE, right? Like we think WeWeb is more like an IDE to help you build your web applications. And then we are implementing extra services to just help you manage the whole product cycle, right? And so if you don't have to manage to have to deal with the headaches of hosting, we're here for you. And so we're helping you. Just click a button, pay us $10 per month, and that's going to be deployed. If you have your own habits and your own, hosting partners, feel free to use them. And that's the philosophy.
Yeah, I think that's super important actually, because for us, like you say, it's an IDE. I think it's an IDE that is friendly to both visual programmers and traditional coders. And with that pricing, I think reflects that super well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like incredibly proud that we were able to put that pricing out. I think it's amazing. Uh, I'm very biased, of course, but all right. Matt is asking, can the new AI features work with our existing design system and components in some ways?
Yes. So for now, no. But very soon, yes. And so this is something we are already working on. And so, a few of our developers are working on, making this play out very well with the design system and existing components. So I expect this to become a yes, probably in March. Like that's one of the things that will be shipped very quickly, because we understand that design consistency is so important, that this is going to be critical for you guys to build something and actually go to production. So that's like, it's not even next on the roadmap, it's already being developed.
Yep. And Andreas is commenting on the pricing. I love the new pricing plan. Sorry, it's great for indie hackers now. Absolutely.
Yes, and that was very important for us, and also like the ability for you guys to publish for free. I mean, it's been a technical hassle for you and for many of you who are for us, sorry, and for many of you who are following us. That this was not like a business decision, but it was more like a technical decision, because like many people were using the free publish to do bad things like phishing websites and others. And so we had to review a lot of things, technically speaking, to make this happen. And so now that it's working, I think it's going to help actually WeWeb's growth, because most of you guys will like build things and share it with your friends, and then maybe your friends will hear about WeWeb through this. And so yes, I'm expecting like more and more indie hackers to just start with us, because they can basically start for free, and then eventually like pick us as a partner for their growth. And once they reach a certain point and build a real business, then they will feel comfortable paying us. And yeah, it's all about finding the right balance to exactly when those guys should be able to pay us. And I hope like this new pricing will be balanced enough.
And actually, that's a great transition to Uwalk's question, like asking can you survive?
So yes, that was obviously part of the thing as well. We did a lot of calculations. We did a lot of SQL to actually run those calculations. And so yes, otherwise we wouldn't have put it out. So we're actually pretty exciting, because first of all, like with this new pricing, we survive without any problem. I don't know if you guys know, but remember, WeWeb is a profitable company. And so, I mean, we have a lot of cash on the bank account, and it's growing every month. We raised money, and there's a lot of money that we just didn't touch. So the company is on on a very sustainable path, and this is a very good situation to be, by the way. And thanks to this, we can take those type of bold decisions, like completely decreasing our pricing and making it cheaper for 92% of our customer base. And so we have investors, and we talked about that with them. And at the beginning, they were a bit surprised, but then they got really convinced that this is the right path, because what's going to happen with this new pricing, and we expect it, we don't know yet because it's the first day, but we expect this to have a very strong impact on our growth, because like since WeWeb will be much more affordable, we'll have more and more people using it, and then the word of mouth will be better, and this will create like virtual circles, and then we'll have the volume will basically cover for the price point that is cheaper. And we also thought about playing such a, I would say, like building such a model, because we knew that the learning curve of WeWeb is going to be flattened thanks to AI, and so the barriers to entry will be lower, right? And so thus we can play kind of a volume game, if you think about it, because suddenly like we're becoming accessible to many more people from a technological standpoint, and therefore we should align the pricing so that there is no question, right? We wanted this to be a no-brainer. We want people just to look at the price point and say, this sounds extremely fair. It's easy to use because I can use AI to get started. Let's go, right? And so we'll see. I think we'll know like in 3 to 6 months if this was the right bet. But I'm pretty confident that at least like even like in one day we got so many positive feedback that I don't think it was a wrong decision.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ryan is asking, are the new components that Luca was working on still coming, or has AI negated the need?
So what were those components? Do you
I think
remember?
it's data grid, select, and radio buttons. So no, they're actually the select. I think it may not have dropped in the add menu yet, but it's coming. So Luca is still finishing up that work. The data grid is out. The new forms are out. So
Yeah.
now the form container, basically you can set up input validation at form level instead of having to do everything for each input. So that's really cool. Yeah, still a lot of small tweaks and things to improve components as well. Now we had a question from Frederick from Gaspacho. How many tokens does it cost to make a request to WeWeb AI?
It depends.
$1 kind of question.
Yeah, it really depends. So it's actually hard to predict the number of tokens, because for example, when you make a request and your project is blank, completely empty, the number of tokens that are going in the model are not as big as when you do a request with like a multiple page, multiple variables, multiple, like an existing project. And so the number of tokens, of input tokens, actually increase with the size of your project. But then the number of output tokens depend really on what the question is. If you're like, build me like a full-fledged calendar with like ABCD features, well, the number of output tokens will be high. If you're just asking, can you change the color of the button of this button in pink, that's going to be first of all, you should use the no-code editor to do it. But otherwise, if you're very lazy and still want to ask the AI to do this, the number of output token will be very, very low. So yeah, I think it really, really depends.
And by the way, I'm sharing in the chat, so in the comments, I'm sharing the playlist with Matthew's videos about how to kind of prompt in a way that's more efficient, that will get you better results. So hopefully that will help you as well. Because like Raphael said, if you're like basically asking for a full web app, you might get into trouble. Okay, where am I in the
Just
question?
by the way, this makes me think, when you use the AI, just like giving you tips already, it's super helpful to actually select one of the elements. So for example, say you have this calendar and it's already built. If you want to do a change on the calendar, make sure you select the calendar, because then the AI will have it as context, and then we are not going to send the full page to the AI as the context, and then you will save a lot of input tokens. And you will have two advantages. The first one is that we're going to save a lot of input tokens. And the second one is that you have better chances for the AI to understand your request, because the context it has is scoped to the element you want to change. So yeah, there are many ways for you guys when you build to actually optimize the number of tokens that are being used. And one of them is select the elements and try and scope the context that you give to the AI. Same goes for the workflows. If you want to change a workflow, try and go to the workflow the workflow page itself, and then it will be given as context to the AI, and just ask for changes, and then you will have better chance for this to actually succeed, and it will use less tokens.
And it is a beautiful transition to another question, which is, will we be able to deeply edit components generated by WeWeb AI manually within WeWeb without needing a new prompt?
Yeah, so I mean, the components, if we take an example of something very advanced, what can it be? I don't know, for example, a graph, right? A data visualization component that would be like extremely custom for your need. You can ask the AI to expose properties, right, directly in WeWeb. So you can tell it, for example, I want this graph, and I want the colors to be exposed. I want the title to be exposed. I want, I don't know, the width and whatever to be exposed. And then those properties will be available in the editor for you to change it. So there's two ways for you to actually do some deep changes in the component. One is you ask the AI to expose more properties, and then you will be able to directly change those properties through the no-code editor. The other one is you get access to the code and you do the changes in the code directly. I mean, another hack you could think about is you just take the code that WeWeb will have generated for you, this coded component, and then you can actually bring it to, I don't know, Claude or ChatGPT and ask for some changes as well. This is one of the things you can try, and then re-import it in WeWeb. So yeah, there will be many ways for you to do some changes even without to have to touch the code yourself.
Nice. A couple more questions from Gaspaccio. How safe is it to use AI-generated components in production? It's labeled as beta, but what risks are we actually taking?
Yeah, so everything is really beta. So you should be careful, because when AI builds something at one place, it can break some other things in other places. And that's another advantage of actually scoping. For example, say you have filter setup, right? You have, like, for example, a table with, like, I don't know, 10 filters. Maybe if you ask, you don't scope the context, and you ask, I don't know, I want to add 3 more filters, whatever. There's a chance that it's going to break the first ones that were already working. That's one of the examples. And so a good way, again, for this not to happen is to scope the context that you are going to give to the AI. But yeah, keep in mind that this could break things. The good point is that it's never going to break anything in production, right? Yeah. It can break things only in the editor, and when when the AI does something, we also worked on this, and so when the AI executes your demand, it can perform, I don't know, 200 actions, for example, and just by doing Command Z, right, or undo, it will undo all of these 200 actions in one click, right? And so thanks to this, you're still in control, right? So if it does a lot of mistakes, you can just undo whatever it has done. One of the things you have to be careful about is when it plays with your backend. So we didn't talk about it so much, but we did like this Supabase integration that is very advanced and works with AI very well. And so the AI can actually build your tables in Supabase. It can execute, deploy edge functions, and so it can run SQL directly in your Supabase project. But we made sure that there is some kind of protections, right? So when the AI did something, write the query for you to change anything in your Supabase project, it will not run it without your approval, right? So you can review the query before it's being approved. So we kind of added some guardrails so that you don't make too many mistakes. But like when it plays with the backend, be very careful because it could break some data actually in production there. So like in the front end, no, but in the backend, yes. But you can still set up your environment so that it only plays with data in a different environment than the production environment in Supabase. But yeah, you should be careful about this.
And just one thing regarding the components, it's not just the command or control Z. It's also you could have like V4, V5, V6 of your component, and you
Yes.
could roll back to V4. If you're on V6, you can roll back to prior versions.
Yeah, for the components, yeah.
Yeah, the components. All right, if WeWeb AI encounters an error, are tokens still consumed?
Yes, for now, yes. This is going to change in the future, but this has some technical challenges for us because we need to figure out what an error is. And so I know, for example, Lovable and Bolt, they implemented it, and it's not always very working super well. For example, like sometimes it does error, but it doesn't consider that it did an error. And so so we are going to implement this as well at some point, probably very early, probably in this quarter or the next. But for now, it counts all of the tokens.
Question from Andre. Regarding the new pricing, we recently paid for an annual plan. Can we expect a recalculation based on the new price?
Yes. So if you recently paid for an annual price plan, I would suggest you to reach out to the support. And so what is going to happen most probably is we're going to give you credits, right? So that you can switch to the new plan right away and don't have to wait like for another 11 months. And yeah, we'll give you credits and then we'll switch you directly to the new plans. And since everything is cheaper, this should bring you further. So we'll try to be fair with that.
Cool. And I can't read Portuguese very well, but I'm pretty sure this is positive and the future. AI, no code and serverless is the future. Nice. Roberto is asking, is WeWeb going to get updated to the new Vue 3.6 paper? It could improve performance.
I actually don't know. I actually think we did it, didn't we? I'm not sure.
I remember Aurélie talking about a new version,
me too.
but I can't remember if it was Vue or not. I don't know if Aurélie is in the chat. If not, I'll take a screenshot of this question and ask her.
We'll let you know. I don't know what's the status of this. I remember we talked about it as well, and if it's done or not, I'm not sure.
All right, cool. Sandcat is asking, is branching in the development pipeline?
So not yet. It's not in the development pipeline, but it's really like top of mind for the roadmap, and that's one of the next big things we are going to work on together with a better Figma integration. And because most of you with teams, we have kind of this. We saw like teams with more than 3 people start to struggle not having the branching, which is totally understandable. And so it's not in the development pipeline because we still need to do a lot of qualifications, technical qualifications, before starting developing it. So, but rest assured that this is like one of the next things that's coming in the development pipeline. But first, we need to qualify it from a product standpoint.
Cool. There has been a lot of exploration already. Like, it's been it's in our minds, but. So yeah, Flo and Luca have definitely done a lot of work already in terms of Explo. I was asking, do you think AI will finally make my front ends look cool?
Absolutely.
I hope so. I think so.
Oh yeah, that's one of the things. So for you guys to know, and I think I mentioned it already, but we use Claude Sonnet 3.5 as the main LLM. We use also other LLMs for a few other things when you guys do a prompt, but that's the main LLM we use. And it's so great at coding, and it's so great also at thinking about the design itself. And so it was funny because we did tests internally, and so for the same prompt, which was only like a front-end only prompt, we tested everything, like OpenAI, Gemini, Grok, and Claude Sonnet, obviously, and the others. And the best results by far were Claude Sonnet 3.5. So yeah, it's going to look great. Can you confirm that AI is?
Which is
it's called Copilot in WeWeb.
So it's not called Copilot anymore. We're calling it WeWeb AI, but yes, it is Sonnet 3.5.
Yeah, for most of the requests that you're doing.
And Roberto is asking, I saw literally zero posts about AI and so many posts about the pricing. How do you feel about this? Is
I actually saw a lot of posts about AI. I don't know if you go on LinkedIn, for example, like a lot of people talked about it, and on Twitter too. But it was funny. It was funny. We laughed also about it here in the office because we saw like so many people talking about the pricing, but in a positive way. So we
yeah,
actually feel good about it. I think it's an altogether release that was highly expected both from the AI side and the pricing side. And I think it's in harmony. Like
yeah,
the pricing decisions that we took are actually make a lot of sense in this new AI driven world. So I think it's great.
yeah. I think both are about making web development more accessible. And I think the also for AI, the way I interpret it is like because a lot of people had access to the beta, so there was also already a bit of communication around that, whereas pricing is new. And I think AI is just like what I was mentioning earlier. We got used to the new paradigm so quickly.
Yeah.
Now this is my life. I build beautiful front ends like Renault, and it
Yeah.
takes me
I
minutes.
also think some people saw it coming, just like us, right? They were like, there's no way that one of them will not do it, right? And there, at some point, maybe all of us editors, right, will have to implement AI in the platform. I mean, Flutterflow started, Software started. It's just a question of how deep can you go with regards to integrating AI in your platform. And we are lucky enough that from a technical standpoint, we can integrate it very, very profoundly. So yeah.
And Liam is asking for the WeWeb AI, please add back the option to select a variable before prompting.
Yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it with Florian, and he's aware. So that should be coming.
Cool. Joseph, as a one-person startup, I'm still unsure how AI will fit with my current designs, but I'm very interested. I use Claude to drive the backend development, super-based functions, and Python APIs.
Great.
Very nice.
So my advice here would be, so it depends how sensitive you are to design. Um, you could either start with Figma and then screenshot your Figma, give it to the AI, and the AI will try its best to replicate it in WeWeb. But if you're not too as a one-person startup again, too attached to design and pixel perfect, maybe let Claude, let the LLM that we're using actually design for you. But you could give it specifications. For example, you can say, I want this to have like I don't know, a retro design that looks like the 1980s with purple as the main color, something like this, and it will come up with actually great suggestions. So yeah, if you don't have the time to design everything and build everything by yourself, I would really suggest that you let the AI build, but you just give it specifications, and you should be impressed by the output.
Yeah. And I really like how it's a joke in the team that Flo, like the AI always comes up with purple colors even when Flo doesn't ask. So maybe you will have AI will have a specific color to for several of you. Fred is asking, will you be creating additional videos to showcase how WeWeb AI can be used for various use cases like Joyce's Academy? And the answer is yes, Matthew is already working on those. And I see Valerie is here. Eric, very nice, has been looking for this for a long time. And a question about how does AI pricing and agency pricing work?
Yeah. So the agency pricing, as you will see, like the price per seat is not really changing. We just rounded it. Now it's the end of 79. It's $80 per month. But for kind of the same price, now you have tokens, and you have more tokens than the basic essential plan. You guys will have 35 million tokens every month, and obviously then you can increase the number of tokens if you need it, compared to the essential plan, which is I think at let me check. I don't want to say anything wrong. No, the essential. So it's more than Pro, because the essential plan is at 10 million. The Pro plan starts at 25 million AI tokens, and the partner is at 35 million. And then all the other features that you're used to have, for example, having staging on a WeWeb subdomain, being able to transfer projects to customers, yeah, all of this will still be included. So the partner plan is really the one that doesn't change a lot. It's just you have more value for the money because you have those AI tokens.
And Ryan is asking if there are any plans to revamp the Cloudflare metadata for dynamic pages.
For now, not really. It's not in the roadmap. Again, I think it's really because we don't have so many people asking for it. Um, but you should let us know, what it's all about. Because if it's like I don't know, half an hour or an hour of one of the developers to just fix one of the things that don't work, then just let us know, and this is something we can look at. Otherwise, no plans to really improve it.
Yeah. And I would just say, and it might not be your case, Ryan. I think we've discussed this before, but for others, we have increased the limit for static pages. So if you don't mind republishing now that it's very fast to publish, if you have, for example, a blog that, it's not the content doesn't change like super often, you can use that, and then the metadata is already dynamic in there. So I know that doesn't cover all the use cases, but it does cover quite a few use cases and might help. Valérie, who recently switched to WeWeb, is saying she's falling in love with it. So
Thanks, Valerie.
that's really cool.
And just Joyce, real quick, I'm just seeing a follow-up comment of Eric with regards to the partner plan, and he said to add to this, I guess the client gets a hosting plan plus a seat for themselves, and yes, so that's true. So once you transfer the project to your client, the client will have to have at least one seat. And if the client wants to host using the WeWeb hosting system, then it will have to take a hosting plan as well. Yes.
Very cool. And Raphaël and Victor are both asking, so love this release first, and when will Xano be embedded in your AI?
Yeah, so the good news is we are in talk with them every week, and every week we do calls, and every day almost we exchange on. We have a shared Slack channel, and so they are working on it really hard. My understanding is that they will have everything ready towards the end of March, something like this. So what they didn't have is the right, I would say, API endpoints or available functions for us to make it work, just like it works with Supabase. But they know it, they're working on it. And so, yeah, by the end of March, I think it should be ready on their side. And as soon as it's ready on their side, we're going to do the implementation for Xano as well in WeWeb. And then you guys will be able to use the AI to perform some actions directly on Xano, which I'm very excited about.
Great. And now we have, will be lots and lots of questions. Keep them coming. But Olivier is asking, will we be able to easily share components between different makers, fork them, and improve them?
Yes, so that's part of the plan, but again, it's in the future. So, will you guys be able to do this? Yes. When exactly? I'm not sure. That's probably going to be like a Q2 thing. You have hackish ways to do it, right? If you do like a custom coded components, it's on your GitHub, and then you can easily share it, right? If it's a no-code component, then it's a bit more difficult. And so, but we really want to work on this because, like, for example, like one of the users might spend whatever 20 million tokens to build like a fantastic calendar, and spend a lot of time, energy, and think about it, and talent about thinking about this calendar. And once it's ready, it would be so amazing for you guys to be able to just share it with the community. So that's something we have in mind, definitely, and that's going to happen. The way it's going to happen, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be through the marketplace. But yeah, that's one of the things that we talk about all the time, because we're looking forward for you guys to build amazing things and then share it with the community.
Cool. Mike is saying he would love to know how to best structure, our own components for best AI compatibility.
So you're talking about, yeah.
I'm thinking
What's
maybe
your understanding of
we'll
this?
do a video on this.
Say that again. Sorry, Joyce.
I'm guessing Matthew will do a video on this. It might be a nice video to do. I'm trying to think. Yeah, it might be a good blog article or a video to do, because we've noticed, for example, the data grid took longer than expected because we had to rethink the way we build it.
Yeah.
So the AI it would be more AI compatible. So
Correct.
it might be a resource we put together.
Yeah.
To help you. think it's a great idea. Mathieu is saying, I've noticed you can't stop the AI.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one of the things we were going to implement as well. The only thing is, it's a technical problem, not like a business model type of hack internally. Because like when we implemented a stop, and when you click stop, it stops in WeWeb, but it continues to stream on the LLM side, and so your tokens are still being burnt. And so yeah, that's one of the technical challenges we have to fix, because yeah, it's very frustrating. For example, you just hit enter and this is not what you wanted to have, and you're burning tokens for nothing. And so yeah, that's one of the things that we have this in mind as well, for like to make some improvements or optimizations with regards to token usage.
Yep. And Pierre-Louis is saying very nicely, just a thank you for all the work done. It's so great and opens many opportunities. That's great
Thank
to hear.
you.
Valerie is asking, just to be sure, seed plans and hosting plans are cumulative, right?
Yes, correct. So if you buy a seed plan, you can build in WeWeb and you can download your code, right? You don't need any hosting plan to download your code. If you want to host one of the projects, then you buy a hosting add-on for this specific project. And for every project you want to host with WeWeb, you would have to buy a specific hosting add-on for it, right? So you have to have at least one seat, and then you can buy as many hosting add-on you need, and one per project obviously is sufficient. And then yes, so it's cumulative. So for example, if you want to have one project hosted with WeWeb, and one seat, and you're alone doing it, then the minimum it will cost you is 16 euro per month for your seat, if we're talking about euros, and 10 euros per month for your project. So it's 26 euros in total for you to have your seat build and deploy with WeWeb. That's for the yearly price.
Cool. And Mathieu is saying, congrats for this new version. Just one question. Is the ability to transfer code and obtain ownership of the code still a thing? For some clients, it is a very important feature.
So yes, when you have a partner plan, you can transfer the project, and when the project is being transferred to the workspace of your client, then the client basically owns the project and has the ability to download the code, as long as the client has a paid seat plan, right? At least one seat. And then the ownership is written in our terms and conditions. Whatever is being built with WeWeb, you guys have the ownership and the IP and everything. All of the code belongs to you.
And a couple more things on the pricing, which I think are really cool. Joshua is saying the pricing is exceptionally good for Kenya, so that's really great. And Olivier is saying that he used to, with the new pricing, he'll basically do everything in WeWeb, whereas before for the little stuff, he would, try to find another way. So
Awesome.
that's good as well.
Thank you. And go Kenya. We're really happy as well. Like we have a growing community of users in Kenya, and that's why we decided to make like a regional pricing for your country. And thank you so much for building with us.
And Fabio is asking, can we buy token refills if needed?
So for now, no, it's not part of the plans with regards to the business model. However, if you need more tokens, you can upgrade to the next plan. And so if you're an essential with 10 million tokens, you can go pro and you will have 25 million tokens. And if it's not sufficient, you have multiple. So you can buy Pro X2, Pro X3, and then you will have, for example, if you buy Pro X2, you will have 50 million tokens. And if it's sufficient for 1 month, then you can downgrade back to Pro X1 or Essential, like really as you need it. But we didn't plan to make like one-off token refills, because we thought it would be kind of too complicated to manage for now, and for us with regards to predictability, it's creating a bit of a challenge as well. So we'll try like this. If we figured that this is something that everybody wants, we'll adapt. But for now, we wanted to try without.
Cool. Ryan is saying, love all of Matthew's video, great hire.
Congrats, Matthew.
I agree 100%. Roberto spotted with the fire engines, probably. Yes, we are in the same building, but
Yes, she's upstairs. We have 2 floors.
We recently got offices in Paris, so we're enjoying the release day. Quick question. question regarding the pricing. Is a session equal a login?
So a session is for
Oh yeah, regarding the
yeah.
limits. Okay.
So the sessions only apply for the free hosting, right? So when you publish on the WeWeb subdomain, once you have your hosting plan, we don't count sessions anymore because we've heard that this is not something good for you guys. It's like it's creating friction. So we only count bandwidth. And so for the free plans, what a session is basically, yeah, someone logging in. And then if that someone, it's not even logging, it's like just visiting a page, right? And then if that person visits 10 other pages of the same application, it's still counted as one. And then if that someone quits the application and then comes back 2 minutes later, we count it as two, right? It's another session. So a session is just like visiting the app and browsing, and that's one session.
All right. And Renaud is asking, or making sure I didn't skip any question. Yes, Renaud is asking, with AI, do you still recommend to start with Figma, or shall we build from WeWeb without design? That is a great question.
Yeah, it's an amazing question because it's kind of reshuffling the cards, and that's something we discussed with many of our power users that we interviewed when we were thinking about all of this AI shift. And so what we've learned from them is that really Figma is integrated into the roots of their processes, and they like to use it to really iterate fast on the design. And so if they are very sensible to the design, I would still recommend to start with Figma because it's probably, I don't know, it gets you further faster, right? Because you don't have to think about the logic, you don't have to think about how the UI behaves. However, if you want to get to a result very quickly, or if you want to test a UX, then it's probably better to start with WeWeb because suddenly you will have a functional type of MVP that you will be able to click on and see how it feels, right? And so you could actually really think about using both, right? You can build everything functional, just the UX, kind of the wireframes, using WeWeb, and then when you're happy, you just go like designing everything to the pixel in Figma, and then you do it in WeWeb again. But it's really up to you guys. I actually don't have an answer, but I suspect that people will continue to use Figma because it's rooted in their processes.
Kunle is saying we want regional pricing in Nigeria.
I know, and we thought about it. So there's a chance that it's going to come. So we had that discussion already, and thanks for asking. So it's like it's giving another point for us to rethink about it.
And Creative Apps is asking, are you thinking about bringing DeepSeek to any role at WeWeb?
Yeah, I mean, like the great part is when you are the app layer, you don't really rely on the LLM, and so we can switch from an LLM. We structured everything at WeWeb so that the agents that you guys will be triggering can use whatever LLM we want. And so what we are doing continuously is testing the different models, and whichever outputs the best output, we just use it, right? And so for now, for the use case we're talking about, Claude Sonnet 3.5 is just unbeatable, and even like DeepSeek is not even close to it. However, whenever one of those frontier models will get better than Claude, we can just switch in a snap, and you guys will just benefit from it, and most probably then the token consumptions will drop. So yeah, I think we are all riding the same wave here, and that's actually fantastic because like all the improvements that will come with those either new LLMs or improvement to existing ones, we're just going to be able to benefit from it very quickly.
Cool. And Ewok is saying, regarding the YouTube videos, you were more leaning towards with Xano. Why Supabase now? I think we explained, because the question came in earlier, we explained that Supabase, it's just they were ready for the AI, and Xano will be ready very soon. But I do want to address the leaning towards more with Xano in the videos, because I've had that comment a few times, and I don't think that's necessarily what was happening. It's just that we use Xano to demonstrate APIs. Because Supabase is at table level. So we have videos about Supabase, about Xano, and then the videos that we have about REST API, we use Xano as an example because it's more convenient than, for example, if we demonstrate with the Rick and Morty API, we can't demonstrate a CRUD. We can only get the data. But it is something that can be confusing because, so we will, I think Matthew has started working on other REST API tutorials to yeah, to make that less confusing for you. And Antoine, yeah, saying we definitely need to ask Supabase to have test and production environments.
Yeah.
Fabio, I love this question. Will Copilot also help WeWeb newcomers in teaching best practices?
Yeah, that's one of the things we're thinking about doing. And so yes, what form it's going to take, we don't really know yet, but it's going to be critical, right? Because like since you have so much power with those AI, you will have to understand what you actually do. And we think that for you to bring your apps in production with trust, you have to understand what's happening behind the curtains. And therefore, we're going to invest a lot on education, but the education will change, right? Instead of teaching you how to use the styling panel, we rather teach you, what's an API, what's a variable, and how workflow is working, and like we'll teach like the web foundational principles, and that's gonna happen like separately from the editor, like through a renewed academy and videos and articles, etc. But then I'm pretty convinced, we are all pretty convinced at WeWeb, that this could also come in app, right? And so once you start asking for some stuff, the AI can teach you, what you're actually doing, and we're very excited about this.
Yep. And we're running out of time, so I'll take another 2-3 questions and leave you at that. But we feel free to comment on Raphael's post in the community, and we'll answer on there as well. Abby is saying thank you for the new pricing and mentioned that he's already paying for 2 apps, now working on his third. Can
Well done.
to the new pricing and how.
Yeah. So it should be very easy. You just connect to your dashboard, and you will see that you'll be prompted to, you will have a banner, and you can just click on migrate, on like learning more about the new pricing. It will bring you to a specific page. You will learn about it. We built a pricing calculator for you to actually calculate, how much you will pay, most probably less. And then if you're happy with it, it's an opt-in thing. And so if you opt to switch to the new pricing, you just click on the migrate button, and then you'll be migrated to the new pricing. And so, for example, if you have a few seats, then we'll transfer you to the new seats. If you have a few projects, then we'll add like those hosting add-ons on, or we'll create a seat and an hosting add-on. So it should be like automatically performed, and then you will run on the new pricing. So it should be easy for you.
Yep. And we do have indeed Aurélie's answer. So we didn't switch to Vue 3.6 yet because it's not stable at the moment. So
Thanks, Aurélie.
I think we covered like the most. I'm looking at new questions, but I think we're okay. Maybe this one. And the new pricing, is it still free to have agency guests join my workspace?
Yes.
All right. And okay. All right, I think we're pretty good. Well, there are some questions about SSR and evolving the stack from Vue to Nuxt, but I think that's not in the.
It's far for now. Yeah, that's not something we think about for now. We really want to nail like the web app building, like the SPA, I would say, building for now. Yeah.
All right. And is it possible to automate the self-hosting? That's super. I love this question as well. And in theory, yes, it is. If you can you can sync to GitHub, right?
You can sync to GitHub.
And then GitHub has those automations with like
and then you can deploy from GitHub, you can deploy anywhere.
Yep. And they have those hooks just to Gaspacho, just so you know, guys, I'm extremely proud to be a WeWeb builder right now. You've just made a huge milestone in the no-code world. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're so happy and proud to have you as a user as well. Thank you, guys.
That's amazing. France is asking about, like, we're providing a little bit less information. I'm guessing it was that Copilot was kind of talking too much and it was getting confusing.
Yeah. we are iterating on this,
Yeah.
and so I think that's going to change actually very often. And so yeah, it might be a bit uncomfortable at the beginning, because you will see like many updates, and things will change. That things that you're used to will actually change in the beginning. So that's why we're still in this beta phase. And I really hope like within the next month or two, we're going to be able to stabilize the experience with WeWeb AI, and from there it's going to feel more stable.
And artist saying late to the QA party, but is the new grid available? Yes, it is. If you
Yeah,
no longer see it, if you no longer see it, it will reappear very soon. It might
yeah.
be that we needed to change a quick thing, but yeah. All right, uh, I think we're pretty much. Oh, yeah, maybe this one. How can we see the bandwidth of a project?
Yeah, you can directly go. So in your dashboard, you will have like a billing section, and under the billing section, you will have a card for every of your projects with a hosting plan. And in those cards, you will have a progress bar with the bandwidth. So you should be able to track this very easily.
All right. Well, I think that covers it. I know it's the fourth time I've said that, so now I will stop looking at the comments because otherwise I just feel the need to answer more things. But it was amazing to get so much energy from everyone in the comments. Thank you so much, Raphael. Um,
Thank you, Joyce, and thank you, everybody. And just if I may, like in 1 minute, conclude.
of
I
course.
think altogether, we're kind of building the future of no code. Um, and and we are so excited with this new version because it feels avant-garde, right? It feels like it's a new paradigm, and we need you guys. I mean, it's not like we need you. Let's build this together. That's how we want to run this. So we are really counting on your feedback. We're going to listen to them very carefully, and we're going to improve this all together. And all together, let's make this experience astonishing. Let's make this experience amazing, and let's give the full power of the web to everybody. And I think we have the right foundations, and we have also, I think, the right community, because the vibe we get from the community is so great. Like, for example, this question about education. Um, I think you guys understand what's happening. And so, yeah, if we do this all together, I think within the next 6 months, we'll come up with a product that is unbelievable, unbelievably good. So, yeah, give us like as many feedback as you can. We'll listen to them very carefully. There's a high chance that some of you guys will want to interview you, and we'll try to run this like as co-sessions. Um, and yeah, and let's build the best product out there. And I'm pretty sure we can come up with something truly amazing. So thank you so much for taking the time with us tonight, and today, for those of you on the other side of the ocean. Take care, give us your feedback, yeah, and keep building.
Absolutely. And Fabio's saying organize a WeWeb meetup sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You guys like everywhere in the world to organize WeWeb meetups, and if we can support you, we will. So please email me at joyce@weweb.io if you want to organize a meetup. If you need my help promoting it, I would be more than happy to do that.
100%.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.